What's up, everybody? This is Machete Van Helsing coming to you again with another recording. This one is about business, okay? There's a couple of things I'm going to have to clear up, right, and get out of the way because it seems to be what's stopping everyone from becoming successful. So I'm going to get into it, right? Now, how this began was a conversation. Right? I was having a conversation with somebody, and I'm not going to say who, but the thing is, I've had similar conversations in the last few days, and I had to explain the same point to these few people. So because of that, I felt that maybe everybody needs to hear it, right? So let me get into it. This individual said to me, I'm in need of a local notary to send documents under notarial declaratory judgment. I've been having trouble enforcing my contracts. My response to him was, because you're not listening. As a living, breathing man, you cannot enforce any of your documents because you are dealing with corporate entities. Therefore, you need your own corporate entity to interact with them, defend yourself with, and to enforce your will in the public. If you're not using an entity to do these things, they cannot help you. They cannot they cannot hear you. They can't hear you, they can't help you, they can't see you. Your papers are blank, right? He said that, okay, I get that. And he said, I am using an entity now, though. And I said, yes, but that entity is a business. So we're going to stop right there. And that's how I'm going to start this recording, right? Listen, everybody. Everything in the public is business. It's all business. All of it. Everything. Even the name, quote unquote, is a business. The United States Incorporated is a business. The courts are businesses. The banks are businesses. You want me to say the other word? The banks are corporations. The United States is a corporation. You know, all of these companies, the courts, all of them, they're all corporations. The name is a corporation, right? Okay. But that's saying that everything out here in the public is business. Okay? So here's the deal. People say that they've reclaimed their name and they gained control of the name, and now they have an LLC and a trade name, and it makes no sense to me when I hear them say these things, because I actually went to school for business, man, and forget about school. I started business when I was 11 years old, man. 43 right now. I started business when I was 11, man. Okay? And I understand business. I've studied business, been doing it my whole life. Okay? And what I'm noticing is that people don't see that all of this is business. I noticed on his document, because he showed me a document, sent me a document, told me to look at it, right? This document had a red thumbprint on it, right? And I know what that's all about and everything, I've been through that, years ago. I understand what it's about. But here's the deal. He's trying to present a document to a corporation as a living, breathing man. There's a problem with that. The problem is living, breathing men and women have no business doing business in the public. Only entities can interact with each other in the public. I say this all the time, but listen. The reason why he's having trouble enforcing his documents is because he's supposed to be using an entity to enforce these documents, not as a living, breathing man. That's why nothing is working for anyone, right? So he shows me another document, more documents, right? And I say to him, okay, so this LLC, right? I said, what business is this? It's a business, right? So what business is this business in, right? Does this business have a business plan, a business bank account, right? He tells me it's about to have a bank account. So then I say to him, right? He says, he asked me, he says, so how do you suggest I go about this? And I said to him, listen, right? How would a business go about this? How would a business deal with this? What documents would a business use? That's what would work, right? The public doesn't give a shit about a red thumbprint. He goes on to say, so are you saying that I should take the corporation and file in common law court with the... I said, wait a minute. Did you just say common law and then name a corporation in the same breath? You're not hearing me. In order to do business, that's what you're doing. Everyone's doing business. All of these companies are doing business. They're buying, selling, marketing, contracting, accounting, bookkeeping. It's all business, everything, right? You get mail, it's an advertisement. It's marketing. Someone's trying to sell you something or hire you or contract with you, right? Okay, I don't care where the mail came from. It's an advertisement. It's an invite. It's right, because everyone's doing business. They're all corporations. So here's the thing: in order to be successful, right, you have to. And here's the thing, right? I'm not saying, see, here's the thing. I understand the private. I taught the private. I taught people how to go private. I've helped people. I don't know how many people go from the public into the private. I know all of that. But what I'm telling you is that when you step outside, you're in the public. If you have to go to the grocery store and take $1 out of your pocket, you're in the public. You're doing business with these businesses. And the reason why people's lives go wrong is because men and women are not supposed to be doing business out there. You're supposed to be interacting with all of these corporations as or with a corporation. There's no other way to make it. Now, here's the problem with second-class citizenship and everyone with social security numbers and driver's licenses. Here's the deal with that. Okay, let me clear that up too. Because this is all business. None of this is personal. And that's another reason why everybody's getting all this wrong. Because none of it is personal. Red thumbprint, that's personal. Corporations don't give a fuck about that. But you have to deal with them anyway. So you have to use another corporation in order to do business with them, right? So here's the problem with second-class citizenship. Okay, and the name, right? This is what I don't understand about what everybody's doing. The name is in all caps, right? Okay. We know, most of us know, that all caps means corporation, right? Right. Okay. But here's where everything gets twisted and confused, right? Here's where everything gets all messed up at, right? Okay. Corporations and trusts are two different things, two different entity types. When you go to the IRS website to get an EIN number, you have an option to choose between trust or corporation, which shows you that they're two different things, right? So, if we know from the style manual that all caps means corporation, Then what is the name? Because everyone's saying that it's trust, right? But guess what? A trust and a corporation is two different things. So which one is it? Is the name a trust or is it a corporation? It's in all caps. So all caps is corporation. So it has to be a corporation. Why is everyone calling it a trust? Which one is it? It can't be both. See? Why aren't your teachers teaching you this? Why aren't your gurus and leaders telling you this? Right? Why? It's just crazy to me. Okay? So listen, right? In its default state, the name, which is an entity, which people call the straw man, right? In its default state, this entity, right, which is corporate, not a corporation, but corporate. See, that's the trick. Pay attention to what I'm saying. This entity is corporate, but this entity is an employee, a worker, okay? This entity is corporate, but not a corporation, okay? It's an employee. So, in its default state, this employee cannot conduct business as if it is a corporation because it does not have the powers and authorities of a corporation. An employee, especially for the United States Incorporated, is a slave with no rights whatsoever. Okay? Right? So here's the problem. People say, well, I abandoned the name, or people say I took control of the name and now I'm separate and I'm private and I control the name now. And okay, cool. But what they're doing is, right, they're trying to send documents out and make claims and file things, right, as the living, breathing man representing the entity, right? Right? And that's all wrong because you're supposed to be presenting these documents and making these claims as the entity, as the entity, as the entity. Yeah. You are supposed to be a business because when you convert your straw man into a corporation, right, it has to get registered with the state. That makes that corporation, which is that entity, which is a person, it makes that person a state citizen because the articles of incorporation is the citizenship of that person, right? It's the proof of citizenship, right? It's the articles of incorporation. Listen to what I'm saying to you, man, right? Mind you, all of this is business. I'm going to digress intentionally. Let's talk about marriage for a second. Marriages have nothing to do with love or the union between a man and a woman. It has nothing to do with that. A marriage is a corporate merger. It is the two corporate entities merging together. It's business. It's a corporate merger. The reason why divorces are so confusing is because you're trying to dissolve a corporate merger. It will be easier to understand if you study that. Which leads me into my next point. People are studying everything else other than business. When all of this is business, everything is business. So your documents are wrong. Your claims are wrong. You're making the wrong moves. You're sending the wrong things to the wrong people in the wrong capacity. Most people out there. Simply because you don't understand and are not grasping the fact that all of this is business. You're supposed to be doing business. You are supposed to be a business. You need a business plan. You need a corporate portfolio with stocks in it. Yeah. You need a corporate seal. You took control of the name, right? The name is a corporation, right? It's a LLC, right? Where's your business plan? Where's your corporate seal? Where's your portfolio? Where's your stocks? You see what I'm saying? This is all business. You're supposed to be doing business. You want to get rid of debt? You're supposed to do it as a business. There's ways to do that, right? It's easier to take it. Listen, everything in life is easier when you're doing business. You people are not doing business and getting everything all wrong. They're ignoring you, right? Let me explain to you about being ignored, right? About your papers being ignored and everything being ignored, right? Let me explain what that is. If you are not using an entity in your business transactions in the public, they can't see you. They can't hear you. Your papers have nothing on them. But if you did the same thing, not the same things, but if you did it the corporate way, using a corporation, everything would be different for you. But you would have to study business. All of this shit, all of this secured party shit, all of this sovereign shit, right, is bullshit. I'm going to explain to you a very, very, very important code. This is a code. The same way I teach you the little codes, the trust codes, I teach you the codes of the game. Here's another code, right? Everything is either business, corporate, or spiritual. Everything in between is bullshit. Everything in between, listen to what I'm saying to you. It's either corporate or spiritual. Mind you, both of those things, right? Both of those things are actually one and the same, but that's an understanding for later. That's like for advanced people, right? I'm explaining the basics, and the basics are this, right? Everything is either business or spiritual. Everything in between is illusion. Everything in between is bullshit. Everything in between, all the secure party, sovereign shit, all of that shit is bullshit. It's all bullshit. All of it is bullshit. You have to do business, right? Yeah, and that's in the public. Now, when you talk about the private, then you have two categories here, right? You have the citizenship of the kingdom of heaven. You have the people that have been baptized and or ordained, and that's private because that's how you separate yourself as a man, woman from everything, right? And now you're free, natural, living, right? Okay? Then you have the private trust. Now, the private trust in the private sector is supposed to operate, it's supposed to be an entity that operates in the private the same way the corporation operates in the public, right? So you have two entities, right? You have an entity for the corporate to go out into the public and do things for you, and then you have the private trust in the private to do things in the private sector of business for you, right? Let me explain to you the trick to that. These people talk about corporation trust, corporation private, right? Listen, if you do anything with the name and claim private anything, you're commingling because the name is public and you're claiming to be private. You're claiming to do private things. But you have control of a public entity. You're commingling. But Miss Shetty, you just said you need a corporation and you need a trust and you need a private trust and you need to work in the private and you need the corporation for the public and right? So you just said, so you're contradicting yourself. No, I'm fucking not. I'm fucking not. Because, right? Here's the other trick, people. Pay the fuck attention. In order to properly and smoothly, right, conduct business in both the public and the private sector with a public and a private entity, right? It's called, you ready? You got your pens ready? It's called a public-private partnership, right? The public entity and the private entity are in partnership with each other, so that they can do business, right? And transfer assets to each other, back and forth, right? Here's the thing. Yeah, I know that, Miss Shady. No, you don't. You want to know why? Because you're going to get locked up. They're going to take all of your shit, right? Why? Because, be fucking cuz, right? Because you are commingling unless you have a public-private partnership contract. You have to have a contract between the public entity and the private entity stating that they are going to do business with each other for whatever the fuck purpose you're doing business for, right? Without a public-private partnership contract, you're commingling. Anybody tell you that? Did any fucking body tell you that? No, because they just want your money and you're going to fucking fail and they're going to laugh at you. And they're not going to laugh at you because they're failing too. They're succeeding because they're making money off of all of the people that believe the shit they're saying. Right? Oh, boy, man. Okay. Right? So I just wanted to get that out and let everybody know that all of this is business. It's all business. You need to study business. You need to study business management. You need to study how businesses work. You need to get your business plan together. If you have a business, you have to decide what business your business is conducting. You have to decide how that business is going to make money. That business needs a website. That business needs an email address. It needs, you understand what the fuck I'm saying? If you're not doing that, you're doing everything all wrong. You have to look up corporate documents. You have to get all of the corporate documents because these are the documents that you're going to be using to interact with the public. You see, when I don't give a fuck who it is. If you're dealing with the court, you're dealing with a car dealership, you're dealing with a bank, you're dealing with a fucking mortgage company. I don't give a fuck who you're dealing with. You need corporate documents to do this. All that shit that all that shit that you're downloading and you're fucking copying and pasting from the fucking internet, I'm telling you, it's bullshit. You have to do business. It's business. It's all business. Right? It's all business. The shit that you're writing, typing, filing, filling out, sending, claiming, it's all personal. This shit ain't personal. Nothing in the public. When you step outside, this shit ain't personal. None of this shit is personal. It's all business. Cop approaches you. It's busy trying to do business with you. Yeah. He's offering to do business with you because they're a fucking company too. Yeah. Everyone's doing business out there. I mean, clear your fucking heads and understand, put all that other shit away and understand that everybody's doing business out here. Everybody's a fucking company. The name that you're talking about claiming is a fucking company. Did you study business management, business operations? Did you? You're studying all this other shit. Did you know that it's business that you're doing with these people? Did you know that it's business that they're offering to do with you? That's why you're not fucking doing it right. Listen, it's all business. It's not personal. I'm out.